everybody, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to do a quick talk about emotional eating. And for me, emotions and eating go hand in hand. You can eat because you're happy, you can eat because you're sad, you can eat because you're depressed, you're just filling a void or making yourself making yourself happier because you had something good happen. But in your food is not the answer to any of those things. Um, but I have anxiety, and my anxiety I noticed has been a little bit more heightened lately because I am not fixing my problem with food. I'm actually trying to fix my problem by facing my anxiety head on and trying to figure out what's triggering it, what's making me feel that way, and sometimes it can be the silliest thing, like, I can't think of it. Like, it could be the silliest thing, like someone moving something and you not knowing where it is, or, you know, that that piques my anxiety. Or it could be a major thing, like there's a ton of stuff that you need to get done and you feel like there's not enough time in the day, and it feels like everybody keeps piling on more stuff on you, and you're just like, I don't know if I can handle this. But when you have those anxiety moments and have that thing that triggers your emotion, like say you had a really bad day and you just want to fill it with a cupcake, done that, been there, I ate that cupcake, but it's just, there are better ways to handle it. And when you have anxiety or have things that are trigger you to emotionally eat, you need to be aware of it. And this brings me to a little story. We had a company picnic at my work, which was really awesome. I love my company. I'm glad that they did it. I had already had some anxiety earlier in the day, some little things that were just causing me to feel overwhelmed and feel like I didn't have any more control. And control is a big thing that spikes my anxiety. Like if I feel like everything is being taken away from me, or that I'm not able to finish things, my anxiety peaks. There And so there was a lot of things outside of work. I had to do some things, and I knew things were coming up, and um, I had to clean my house and do all these things that make my anxiety by themselves is fine, but like when I have multiple things on top of each other, it really makes my anxiety. So people also cause my anxiety to spike because I do not know how to have like a basic conversation with someone. I am always I always want to get into what makes them tick, like I'm a very deep conversation person. Like I don't know how to small talk at all. Because I'm just not good at it. Maybe I am and I just don't think I am, but that it makes me feel overwhelmed when I have to talk to people. And my company's huge. I don't know a lot of people. I have a handful of coworkers that I'm pretty friendly with, but then there's a whole bunch of people I don't know. And so there was a lot of people in an area that I didn't know, or people that I don't know well enough that I would go up and have a conversation with them. And I was feeling overwhelmed, and I was in amongst the people, and my friends are like, what's going on? What can I do to help you? And I'm just like, okay, people, you're making it worse, because here I was thinking I might be slightly normal, and I'm just hyperventilating for no reason, or I look sketch for no reason. And really was just not handling it well, and I almost started to cry, and I was just like, what do I need to, like, I normally would have ran right to food, and filled that anxiety with sugar or really fattening thing to make me feel better inside, to cover up the fact that my anxiety was peaking. And I couldn't do that. So, um, what my friends suggested, we should just go sit somewhere where there wasn't a ton of people and just hang out with just each other. And it was really good. We had some good conversations, and we were just sitting on the grass and we were watching everybody, and it was so much easier to deal with. But yeah, when you have that anxiety, or when you have that thing that makes you emotionally, like you had a bad day, or like so and so did whatever to you, and you just want to eat something to fill that void, you have to take a step back, realize that that's not what you need, and that you need to take a deep breath and see what you can do to make the circumstance better. Like, sitting on that grassy knoll and watching people was a lot easier for me than having to be in the crowd and be with the people. And I could watch people, and then if someone I knew wanted to come up and talk to me, they could, and it was great because I got to talk to some of those people. But it just really was an eye-opener for me how much I used to use food to fill that void in my life and fill that, like, anxiety, so I didn't have it. So I just encourage you, if you are struggling with something emotionally and you know that you've been triggered, or that you need to deal with something, that you go to someone that will be a support to you and will comfort you. My husband is awesome. He has anxiety a little bit worse than I do, which is funny. Two anxiety people together, yay! But yeah, no, he usually handles it well. We both deal with it differently, and it's pretty interesting. But at the same time, I can see where he emotionally eats sometimes when he's upset and has a bad day. And my brain naturally says that's fine, but it's not necessarily fine. But having that support system really helps with the anxiety. Having an escape to go to that's not food is another good way to deal with it. Sometimes I take a nap because it gives me a time to shut down and then reboot, and then I can see the situation from a different perspective. Um, Going on walk, exercising, because that distracts you enough. Because, like, if you're counting or if you're paying attention to your numbers, like, that distracts me enough so I'm not thinking about the circumstance or the situation that I'm in. But those are things that can help you when you have those emotional triggers that make you want to eat. And just, they're going to happen. I notice that they happen more now that like, my anxiety and stuff like that is happening a little bit more often because I'm not filling the void. And maybe I just didn't realize how often I actually filled a void with food. And when you're aware of it, you can correct it. And so anyways, I'm just going to leave you with that. And if you want to comment or ask questions down below, I would love to answer them. Also, let's roll out the pink tape. And I lost 3 pounds this week. Woohoo! So we're still on track for getting to Hogwarts on time and losing the right amount of weight. Anywho, thank you so much for joining me today, and just remember that you don't have to choose food to fill that emotional void in your life. You can choose something else. Like, you can choose, there are other options. Food is not the only option, and it's not the best option either. So just keep that in mind when you're struggling. Also, well, I'm here if you need me. Like, subscribe, and have a great day.